The shorter the format, the more it matters. It is first to 8 in this final.
140.
And Michael van Gerwen has earned himself the advantage of throwing first.
Nothing less than victory will do.
97.
For some players, getting to a final is a career high. For Michael van Gerwen, who has done so much in the game and has been under the microscope for what seems like month upon month upon month. People saying, when's his first title going to come? When's it going to come? I feel like we've been talking about that since Bolton. The first Super Series back in February, where Nathan Aspinall made 2 semi-finals, of course.
139.
And he's had a somewhat lean spell in the middle of the year, but has been playing brilliantly over the last couple of months.
85.
This could be a great final.
We won't skim over the fact that Michael van Gerwen,
58.
of course, did win a World Series event. But it's an unranked title for MVG. Aspinall just failing to find the second treble in that combination.
131.
Only one treble required here. And that's it.
90.
And Aspinall for first blood. He did this against Willie O'Connor in the semi. He got a break to start, but then was broken back immediately. Double one.
No score.
Big chance missed at the start.
Yeah, 3 darts go begging for an early break for Nathan Aspinall, and Michael van Gerwen draws first blood in the final. Just going back to that, he won the World Series event in Copenhagen
85.
when he beat Fallon Sherrock in the final. Now that is a televised event on stage, but is there something
83.
about these events which he was so used to winning all the time? Dan Dawson made the point earlier, if we'd have had Super Series events in previous years, you would expect Michael van Gerwen to win 2 out of 4, 2 out of 3 in this case, probably. Do you think it matters to him almost more to pick up one of these before those big TV events?
I think the only way to find out the answer to that question is if he wins it and Dan asks him that question, because Michael is not shy to show his emotion when he's talking. He wasn't shy to show his emotion in Denmark when he finally got that victory. If Aspinall
96.
tests him here and he comes through it, we may see more emotion from MVG. But Aspinall's got 6 darts to equalise here.
It's a difficult type of event to categorise, the one he won on the World Series, because it wasn't the World Series finals. It's one of the stage events. The only stage event it happened to be this year. Hopefully we'll have a full quota in 2022 of everything. Aspinall looking to level on tops, and he does exactly that. And I also think, Paul, and I'll get your opinion on this as well, in the early stages of this final, that Nathan Aspinall is probably one of the worst opponents that Michael van Gerwen could face in a final when he's desperate for a win.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There are different things that we could say to prove that, but my own research
41.
tells me that Nathan Aspinall has never suffered defeat to Michael van Gerwen in a Players' Championship match.
96.
Michael may have beaten him in a UK Open qualifier, but based on the way that the tournament has been categorised, in a Players' Championship match,
100.
Aspinall has beaten Michael twice. And they're the only meetings they've had.
Yeah, he's that tenacious type as well, isn't he? He'll revel in denying van Gerwen that first title. He knows he can keep a potential TV title rival down by stopping him and in turn taking his first of the year for himself.
In doing himself a favour, he does everybody else a favour as well by maybe weakening Michael just a tiny percentage
99.
more. It's 106 again for van Gerwen when he comes back. He missed it on double 16 the last time he had a crack at it. Aspinall does amazingly well to fit that 3rd dart in the 60.
Can still be done. I'm not sure what the route
44.
was there for MVG.
I think he was going 319s for 34. Unless he got it wrong. Doesn't matter because Aspinall does break. And it could well be 3-0 Aspinall, but he'll take 2-1 with Michael pulling his socks up.
Really? 57 for 34?
Trying to keep everything in the same locale. You have seen Michael van Gerwen go some weird and wonderful ways at times for 9 darters and finishes in the past. I, like you, was a little bit aghast by that effort.
Well, I'm trying to work out whether it was that or whether it was a miscount from MVG, and we don't see that so often.
Well, let's pick the bones out of it. 106, he's hit treble 5, leaves 91. 57, leaves 34. It's the only thinking in his mind. He doesn't make that much in the way of mathematical errors. He must have been just trying something different.
We did see him in the semi-final on 112, Michael van Gerwen, hit a 20 and then go for treble 18, which would have left double 90. Now, that 20 wasn't blocked at all.
139.
Really?
Yeah, it was high, above the 20. It was interesting, similar to that. A little bit bamboozling. Well, he'll be bruised by this. Not going to happen. Van Gerwen will get the opportunity to level.
Likes an 88. Won a world title on this shot. Not this way.
60.
Oh, it's a big chance for Aspinall to get to 3 here. You don't think he's going to miss.
Game
and
shot.
He doesn't. He looks in lethal mood. And like you said, Murph, coming into this final, he was statistically the best player, averaging over 101 for the day.
140.
And Michael has worked extremely hard over the last couple of days. But at times in the last couple of Super Series, he has shown weakness in certain games and has fallen off a cliff form-wise. He hasn't really done that today. He's been more steady. But what we have from Nathan is energy and brilliance at the same time. That's a worrying thing for MVG and his fans.
60.
Yeah, Nathan Aspinall taking the game to MVG. He's racked up 4 180s in the first 5 legs of this match.
104.
Almost 5, but Van Gerwen on an 11 darter.
Great single.
Game shot.
Superb leg. Gave a little bit of something back to Damon Heta in that semi-final because we could hear it on this board.
60.
And so could Nathan and Willie. And they had to stop at one point. Aspinall, who has taken the lead in this match, no longer has a 2-leg gap. He knows he's going to have to play maybe the best he has all year to win this title. But you and I have seen him play at a ridiculous level and still lose.
Yeah, Nathan Aspinall averaged 113.6 against Keegan Brown in a first round match we had streamed. He hit a 9 darter in that game, lost it.
83.
Seen Van Gerwen do the same. Twice he was beaten by 107 averages at the last trip to Barnsley. Just want to go back to that point, though, you made about Damon Heta's, the celebration against Damon Heta. Now, Michael van Gerwen knows there's a match going on against him. He knows, next to his match, sorry, he knows that he's going to play one of those players in the final. I think there's a little bit in that was meant to be heard by everybody.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Because he is a player who, when he was at his best, would revel in intimidating players in the practice room. He knew that he had that demeanour, that fear factor, and maybe he's just trying to recreate it a little bit.
Let me just paint a little picture for you, and I'm going to talk about it in the next leg. Because Van Gerwen, if he hits this 130, might volumise a little bit.
118.
Superb approach from Aspinall. So Van Gerwen needs to go the bull route if he gets a shot. This has got to be pinpoint. I think it's in.
105.
But that is not.
So to restore that 2-leg lead. I think he thought that was in. Steps back, tries to work round it.
16.
Can't find a way through.
That has got to sting. That one stings a bit more, and there is a bit of gumption there from MVG. It's 3-3 in a race to 8. We can now play a best-of-9 match to see who wins Players' Championship 29. But talking about what happened in the semi-final, it was the reaction of O'Connor and Aspinall that was interesting. Depending on the players that heard
125.
and the experience of the players that heard it and the timing of the person making it. I think that stipulates the reaction
117.
as we get a Robin Hood from MVG. But you probably didn't see this. Aspinall and O'Connor were laughing. They probably thought, oh, he's in the mood, is he?
23.
Does he think he can intimidate us? Well, they didn't look that way. They didn't feel that way.
Of course, you wouldn't do such a thing yourself, would you, Paul?
No. I didn't think of it. Not in this setting.
Or maybe when there's 7 boards next to you, in mine head.
Let me tell you a short story. Back in Vegas in 08, I celebrated like I was on stage winning a match. And Gerwen's going to leave double 4, is he? Nope. But I was told by our tournament director at the time, Keith Bisbee, he said, oh, do you like being part of this event, do you, Paul? And I said, yeah, great. He said, well, if you want to stay in the tournament, keep the noise down.
Well, you don't have to keep the noise down now. Van Gerwen is starting to purr in this final. He leads Nathan Aspinall for the first time since the first leg.
100.
Aspinall knows how to come back from a deficit. When he played a little bit earlier against Ryan Searle, he was 3-0 down and Searle was flying. He came back and won that one by 6 legs to 4. He can put legs together against cream of the crop opposition. He's going to need to do it again.
140.
For Van Gerwen, it has been an up and down day in terms of performance levels. It hasn't been that consistent 3-figure averages that he had last time we were in Barnsley.
180.
Nathan Aspinall, another maximum. 6 now for the Asp in this match.
136.
Well, this could be an important exchange.
Let's find out.
57.
Let's see what Michael can do with 89. He couldn't take 88 earlier. Could be different.
Game shot.
Is different. And boy, did that get an assist on the way through. I don't think that was a pure shot. It flicks off the flight and goes into the green for a 5-3 lead. Is green going to be the colour for Wednesday?
60.
You could just see Nathan Aspinall in the background there, trying to get some anger, to pump himself up. Does not want to
96.
allow Michael Van Gerwen the title, the £10,000, but perhaps most importantly for MVG,
39.
the cup of confidence that comes with it.
Nathan hasn't got a bad record against Michael. They played 13 times and he's won 5. And of the current crop of players, as Aspinall gets another maximum, it's a very respectable record against the best player of this generation.
It absolutely is. That is now a 29th maximum for Nathan Aspinall today.
105.
Do you reckon the change of points over the last couple of months is the big turning point for Aspinall in the way his scoring has been? Because these thinner points, which expose the 60 a bit more, have transformed his game back to where it was. And Van Gerwen is starting to stretch his legs if he gets the 104.
Yeah, well, that dart in the 5 might transform this game because it's allowed Michael Van Gerwen this opportunity. It's not one he's going to take. Aspinall
56.
will have the chance to break back and claw himself back into contention. And on that point, about the points,
Game shot.
one of which has just landed in the double 9. I don't think it matters what I think or indeed what you think, Paul, or whether the points do make a difference. All that matters is whether or not he thinks they do.
He does think that. They're slightly longer. They're not as thick as the points he was using in 2020. And look at the amount of 180s he's hitting. He has become one of the biggest 180 hitters in the world.
132.
More so than he was, but look at these stats for a final. What more could you ask for at the end of a day like this? Both averaging over 104 and showing why they are 2 of the top 10 players in the world.
Yeah, Van Gerwen has had 2 3-figure averages already today. One against Andy Bolton in the last 32. He won that 6-4. He averaged almost 105, around the standard he is producing in this match. His best performance of the day came in the quarterfinals against Krzysztof Ratajski, when he averaged more than 107.
Closest game, though, against Dolan. It's the one time he was twitching a little bit. Dolan, a very hard customer to dispose of. But he came through that. That surely will have given him confidence.
Yeah, that match sandwiched in between the two I mentioned. As for Nathan Aspinall, well, he's actually averaged more than 100 in 4 of his 6 matches today.
To level this once again. Tops.
94.
What a chance this is for Van Gerwen now. What does he do? 51, staring a laser through it. And he didn't go double-double.
51.
I think he was determined then, having seen Aspinall literally beat himself up in front of him. Van Gerwen would have been determined to rub some salt into the wound. Might still get the chance. Will still get the chance.
Sometimes you do need a bit of fortune. Michael's just been given it on a plate, and you can tell from that come on from the man in the green shirt. He knows he's close. He needs 2 more legs to finally win a ranked event in 2021. He's been taken care of in a Players' Championship final twice this year by Jose de Sousa and by Peter Wright. But this is a much more beneficial situation than it was against those 2 players.
Well, in that match you mentioned against Peter Wright, Michael Van Gerwen was beaten 8-2 in that final, despite averaging 106.27.
60.
That's 2021 for you, right there.
Yeah.
106 is not enough sometimes.
Well, Nathan Aspinall just stopping there, not sure why. He does tend to sometimes lose grip of his darts. And just has to re-grip, refocus, re-aim.
60.
Showing his old football skills there, Aspinall.
Should have saved it then. He was a goalkeeper.
Can he save the match?
140.
Michael Van Gerwen feels like he's closing in on that elusive ranking title this year. Struggled in 2020.
96.
Michael Van Gerwen, and had some poor performances. This year, for the most part, it's been pretty good stuff.
100.
But without the rewards, without the honours. And this is a man who's used to, 2 or 3 years ago, for a sustained period of time, winning around half of these events.
135.
You could see it was unsustainable form. He's a human being. That's been seen by what he did in Denmark.
140.
The tears that were probably dripping on the trophy. There's no trophy today, but there is a possibility of a 150 out.
I was going to say there might have been some tears had that gone
90.
in. But now Van Gerwen can move within 1 leg.
Game shot.
1 leg, that's all he needs to get that winning feeling again. Having not tasted it in any ranking tournament
140.
in 2021.
Aspinall could lose 8-4, which was the score he lost by in a final of a Players' Championship 2.5 years ago to the guy he beat in the semi-finals, Willie O'Connor.
100.
But Aspinall will believe that he can wrap off 4 straight legs.
67.
If you look at the stats over the course of the season, we've treated these days to the Dart Connect system where we can see
95.
every average from every match at the Players' Championship. You look at these 2 players and you think, playing well enough to have won at least 1 title. In Michael Van Gerwen's case, probably more than 1. He's second on those averages as he just runs some repairs. And Nathan Aspinall shaking his head, not having left to finish. The situation will take some repairing, but yeah, I think both players will feel like if they get to the end of the year without a title on the floor, it'll be down to a bit of bad luck, really.
98.
I don't know. You make your own luck in this sport, I believe. Sometimes you can play incredibly well and not win a title. That's been emphasised by Michael more than anybody, probably in darts history. But Aspinall's got to cling on here. Double 4.
Game shot.
And he is very much on the comeback trail. Within 2, but can't afford any mistakes. And I am paraphrasing Michael van Gerwen, of course. But in the race for the Grand Slam, I was going to say Grand Prix, but it's Grand Slam. We have a situation which is very clear now. Michael Smith is safe for the Slam. If MVG wins this tournament, the only people that can displace Joe Cullen tomorrow from a spot in Wolverhampton are Callan Rids and Chris Dobie if they win tomorrow's event.
If Aspinall can turn it around, you can add his name to that list. If he were to pick up back-to-back titles, he could do so. Otherwise, they'll be to the qualifier here on Friday for that trio.
Got to fill it up. Fill it up, he does. How many's that now? 8 180s. He could still get to double figures.
Well, that takes him to 30 for the day, Nathan Aspinall.
He's not going to get to double figures by the looks of it. And by the looks of the face of Aspinall, he thinks it's done. Is the drought over?
Game shot.
And finally, it is victory for Van Gerwen on the Pro Tour in 2021. He wins his long-awaited first ranking title of the year and does it with an 8-5 victory against Nathan Aspinall in what was a very competitive final of the highest standard. Both players averaging more than 102, but Michael van Gerwen finally getting a victory. And we can't wait to hear from Michael van Gerwen. The interview itself will be as intriguing as the match. And we're going to find out how the Dutchman is feeling after winning that first ranking title of the year. Michael van Gerwen, 8-5 over Nathan Aspinall. He won on stage in Copenhagen. And now we're going to hear from him after winning today, talking to Dan.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah.
Look, how does it feel? Your first ranking title of the year. It's taken a while, but it was bound to happen, wasn't it, eventually?
Well, I think if you're going to compare my performances in the last series, I think can't really complain, but the result wasn't going my way, and then you only can blame yourself for that. And then you have to work harder, and today was one of them hard days. Then you need to step up a little bit, and I'm glad I did at the right moments.
How frustrating was it the last Super Series? Because you were playing so well and people were chucking enormous averages at you, just stopping you before you even reaching the quarterfinals every single day.
Yeah, true. Last series, what you just said, 107 average and lost, 107 average and lose, 102 average and lose. That, of course, that's quite annoying, but you need to keep believing in yourself, and that's the only thing what you can do at that moment. And of course, I always keep working hard, and that's why probably also I did well today. Of course, I think I played really well yesterday as well. I wasn't focused enough yesterday against Dave Chisholm in my quarterfinal game, but overall I feel good, and that's the most important thing. And I feel the hunger is back, my performance are getting back, and that's what you need.
We've spoken a few times over the last few weeks, and you said, look, now I feel confident. I'm playing well. I know I'm going to. It's not like last year where I wasn't winning and I wasn't playing so well. You knew that if you just kept on doing what you're doing, the results would come, didn't you?
Of course, but that's what you have, and even you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your own ability and own opportunity. And when you keep playing games like that, of course your opportunity will come. And sometimes that takes time. I know that's frustrating, but I'm a worker and I don't mind, and I will always keep fighting, and that's the most important thing.
You always talk about confidence, Michael, how it's an important part of this game. This is what you needed, isn't it? Going into the Grand Slam, the Players' Championship finals, and of course the World Championship.
I think in the last 6-7 weeks I started to play really good darts, and with a win like this, of course it's going to give me a lot of confidence, but still so many games to go, and I'm going to treat every game like a final, and that's what you have to do, and always be hungry. Keep fighting, keep investing in yourself, and yeah, love what you do. And that's really, hope the fans enjoy. That's the most important thing.
So you're back tomorrow then?
100%. I've got an exhibition Friday, so 100%
Okay, fair enough. But that is an important thing, is it? Because winning becomes a habit. We've seen you go and win. You know, once you start winning, you keep on winning.
Of course. I think, of course, I'm capable of doing that. If someone is able to do that, I think it's me. But times have changed a little bit. And if you're going to look to all the performances from all the dart players and the schedule, how busy it is, it's tough to win week after week. I know that. But you need to adjust to yourself, and you need to find the right space for yourself. And I think that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Do you think it is harder nowadays because of the strength in depth? So many of these guys can throw enormous averages.
I know that. I know, of course, because everyone can play a phenomenal average. Look yesterday, Chris Dobie, beforehand. If someone, no one put his last money on that guy. Do you know me? I know he can play well, but no one was gonna. And look what he did. He had a tournament average of 102, phenomenal. And I think on the Pro Tour, people start to play better and better. You have to perform better. You can't adjust yourself to make any mistakes, so you need to keep fighting, and that's really important.
Well, look, he's kept fighting, and finally it's turned for Michael van Gerwen, his first ranking title of almost a year. Thank you. Well done. It's been a long time coming. It's his second title of this year, course one on the World Series. He will be back tomorrow for the final Players' Championship event of the year. There's a lot of stuff at stake as well. Spots at the Grand Slam of Darts, spots at the Players' Championship finals, the World Championship, and indeed tour cards to play for. By our back of the fag packet calculations, we think that Michael Smith is safe for the Grand Slam, but Joe Cullen could be knocked out of the spots if somebody, say, like Callan Ritz or Chris Dobie were to win tomorrow. It's the final Pro Tour event of the year, Players' Championship 30, the culmination of the Super Series. Join us here at Barnsley Metrodome. 12 midday it starts local time. From the good people at Loop Productions. See you then.